I'm good. I'm good whenever. I'm good whenever.
Which I don't think we're gonna do Google Meet anymore after this. We're just gonna do the live feed.
All
I think that's
right.
what we agreed to. So he'll be pretty separate.
I'll keep doing whatever you guys need, man.
No, I think we're just, so he'll be pretty separate.
I'll keep doing whatever you guys need, man.
No, I think we're just having people if they haven't signed in. I think everybody here looks fairly familiar as well. Is it time?
Well, really, no. It's 1 minute, it's 5:58.
Oh, we'll wait a couple more minutes. We said we started at 6, so.
Your mic's working, you didn't know that?
What's that?
The microphone's working?
Well, it's a small room, so I'm not sure. You think that
More for these guys,
people?
but right now we've just got one.
Okay.
I think the room
Oh, God.
appreciated it too, because last time some people were having trouble hearing, so.
Okay, can we use the mic?
I got my notes.
All right.
Oh, good. I didn't make hardly any notes, so barely.
All right.
We're all friends here, so don't mind me eating up here, right? Cheers. I mean, you can tell
Hello,
me.
hello.
I think I'm gonna go over here.
Hello? Is that better?
That's down a little bit there.
Oh, did it work more?
Down just a little bit.
Oh, that's perfect.
Maybe it was on high.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get started at 6 o'clock. So thank you guys for coming, everybody here. We really appreciate you. We are gonna be talking about upcoming events and then have a discussion about future campaigns and that's about it, I guess. So. We've got cookies and water in the back. We have t-shirts for sale, $20 if you want a t-shirt. It's not a fundraising thing. It's because people asked for t-shirts. We bought some, and so first come, first serve on those. Anyway, we'll get started. Charlie, are you going to be able to talk about your cleanup while you're doing that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, Allison's moderating it, but mostly.
All right, Charlie, this is Charlie Miller. She's one of our new people here. She's doing social media for us on TikTok and things like that. She knows a lot more about that than I do. I know nothing about that. So we're so thankful to have her. And she's going to talk about the cleanup mission that she's on. So go ahead.
No? Okay.
Yeah, if y'all want to join us on this Saturday, May 22nd at 9:30 a.m., we're meeting in the Levels parking lot. It's just the biggest parking lot on Grand Avenue. We're going to do a cleanup with Don't Dirty the Dale. We're going to do a cleanup on Grand Avenue. And so, like, I really couldn't hear you for some reason.
Put your mic.
I heard part of it. On Saturday, we're meeting in the Levels parking lot for cleanup Grand Avenue,
9:30.
9:30 a.m.
Are there supplies there?
Yes, Don't Dirty the Dale will be bringing supplies, snacks, etc.
So we're doing it in conjunction, we're doing it with the other group.
Yes, yes.
Because we want to do things like that that are also to service to the community.
Community outreach.
Yeah.
Yes. Very good. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, that was one of the things, last night I got an opportunity to speak on the Indivisible Illinois meeting, and one of the things they wanted to hear about our leadership team and how we organize things. And one of the things that I brought up that I thought was really important, we spent a lot of time working with other groups, going to meetings, meeting people in the area and developing relationships. And so that's doing things like the cleanup and other things that we might get involved in. That's why we think that's important. And so then when we ask people to show up, they're more likely to do that because we've built strong relationships. So, all right, next we'll have Mary. Allison's not here. She's hurt her foot, so she wasn't able to come. So we can. You want to talk about the Memorial Day and the Papa Boss thing too?
No, I just want to talk about the No Kings thing.
Oh, okay.
I can talk about the other stuff for you if you want to, but
Well, I'll just go ahead. So, this Monday, Memorial Day, we are having a rally, I guess, in Marion. It's gonna be at the Clock Tower, 11 to 12. It's not a protest, it's more in support of veterans. We want them to be able to keep their benefits, that type of thing. So, request was made that we do something in Marion. So this is our first shot at that, where Allison is leading that with Charlie's help, and so you could show up at the Clock Tower, Marion, 11 to 12 on Memorial Day. And then the other thing is Allison's got a kind of a campaign, I guess, the Bother Boss campaign. She's already got like 70 volunteers signed up to work this. So her plan is to do weekly, maybe more often than that, protests at my cost office in Murfreesboro, then the phone calls, letter writing, that type of thing. She'll come up with different themes and whatnot to keep people interested, and a lot of it's going to be when he's in the district, we're going to hit that hard. So you may see a lot of information about that. Feel free to join. Welcome to, everybody's welcome to participate. And, but she'll be contacting people to set up like teams, maybe so that you don't have to be the same people all the time out there. You can have different people going and keep up the momentum that way. So those are two things that Allison's working on. All right, so Mary will talk about the No Kings rally.
Okay, so you probably all know about June 14th and about the Trump parade that he's planning on having. Indivisible National and a few other national activist groups have called for a bigger campaign than we had with Hands Off on April 5th. Already, because we've had so much more time to get ready, I was on the call today, and there's already more events planned now, and it's still about a month away, than there were even that happened for Hands Off. So we're expecting this to be a really big time. Sadly, we could not get the pavilion because that's a busy day. Yes, Richard?
Why the pavilion? Why not the, we're going to be at the pavilion, not the Civic Center?
No, we're going to be at the Civic Center. But
Why?
why the Civic? Well,
They're real picky about parking up there. They'll tow your car in a heartbeat.
well, they know we're coming, and Nell will be talking to them, and they're really usually pretty good with us, aren't they, Nell?
They are.
It's
They-
private.
I thought that you would usually suspend parking fees in their lot back there.
Have they told us that for this?
The only time we had a problem was when they were having an event there and we were not allowed to park there. But as far as I know, because Judy Ashby actually got the permit for this, so she would know more. But as far as I know, we haven't gotten any word that we can't use their parking lot. But we're at, the pavilion has a health fair going on at it. They already had that scheduled. We looked at Turley Park, that was already scheduled. So that's why we're at the Civic Center.
And
So that's where-
consequently, we have partnered with the Pride Fest because it's the same day. And they are having events throughout Carbondale. The Rainbow Cafe is about a block from the Civic Center, and they want their community to join us at our protest.
So they're gonna be set up on the strip,
Mhm.
all along the strip. So we're gonna be at one end of the strip, they're at the other end. And they're having a brunch until 1 o'clock, which is why we're starting at 1 o'clock. So they can come to our event from their brunch and then move on from there.
Wasn't this June 14th originally set up from 5 to 7, and then it was changed to 1 to 3?
I don't think we set that up for Parkinson's.
No, not us.
Somewhere in my little brain, I got it in my head because I had another event to go to in Marion that same evening.
Oh,
Well, our last
And
one
then
was,
360.
wasn't this last one from 5 to
Oh,
7?
360's always been in the evening, yeah.
It's 6 to 10 in Marion, and I was wanting to come to the June 14th.
Oh, that's that money raiser for the scholarship, ain't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
But I had originally thought that I would have to cut one short to get to the other. And then all of a
I
sudden,
think that's
I noticed
all
it
it
was
was.
changed to 1 to 3, or maybe I misunderstood.
Yeah, this
I'm
one,
very capable of
we've done
that.
that in the past, but this one has always been
Is
one.
that 1 to 3 or 12 to?
I think it's 1 to 3.
1 to 3.
Just wanted to confirm that parking in the area on June 14th is going to be very simple and easy. Because of the city hall's work on the train station, they have extended the availability of parking in that one half of their parking lot indefinitely until the parking lot opens for Amtrak, so there will be at least 30 spaces available there. Additionally, for those who are able to walk, there are some parking options over by the pavilion that will still be available. From what I understand from Pride Planning, they're not expecting to cordon off any of the parking spots down there, but to leave those open for participants.
Right, it'll be a first come, first served, but it is gonna be tight.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a lot going on down there.
There's a city lot across from the Civic Center as well. And in theory, the Sims should be open by then. So
What
that
should be
lot's the new station.
It's going to be open, but parking phase does not end until much later.
It's open now.
Building's open, parking's not.
Right.
Yeah.
The new parking's not ready.
It won't be ready probably in June.
Is that a weekday, the 14th?
No, that's Saturday. It's a Saturday.
The federal
Alice?
building lot should be available.
That's open
Yeah,
small.
yeah, that wouldn't be a bad walk either.
Are they okay with people parking?
Yes,
I've
yes.
walked down it many times, and gotten away with it.
Oh, because I'll
It's
send
not
out,
while we're in session.
we'll
We
probably
don't
have
know
to
these days.
send out a follow-up email about parking now, right? I'll update people on the mobilize about parking.
And carpooling,
Yeah,
Yeah.
carpooling,
haven't done that.
we can carpool.
So we'll figure that out too.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is since we're only at the Civic Center, we don't have a shelter, so we won't be making signs like we have gotten to, which seems like a lot of people want to do that. So I was just gonna throw this out there to people that want to help, that possibly we could have a poster party the day before or during the week to get up the posters we need. A lot of people can't make theirs and they just want one already made. But if it was something anybody wanted to help put together.
What is the theme for the,
Well, No Kings is all about, of course, we don't want Trump. He's having a military parade. It's his birthday and it's also Flag Day. So they're calling for,
Flag Day?
it's Flag Day. So nobody is supposed to be protesting in Washington DC. There's supposed to be
or
no,
what there?
everywhere but
We're all
there.
protesting out, yeah.
Everywhere but there. So
That's a good explanation.
So we're trying to make it really big. We're kind of limited. I mean, we've got the sidewalks. I'm working on hoping we can get a speaker to come out, one of our politicians that we like. And we'll have a little entertainment also. But once again, it's going to be mostly the sidewalk. So, yes, so that's what I wanted to talk about. When it comes to that, does anybody have any questions about that day?
1 p.m. to 3.
2 hours.
Is that the permit length or does the permit extend later?
That is probably the permit length that
I was gonna say, Jude, I do believe Judy's coming, she's just running late.
Today?
So maybe.
Oh,
Normally, when I get the permit, I just get it for the time that the, whatever the.
well, it's gonna be tight.
Do you know when the Pride March is gonna be that day?
They haven't planned a Pride March, actually.
Oh.
So they're contemplating, they don't want to cross the streets. Now that they haven't been able to get the area they always set up in, and they're limited to 51, so.
They did say, they were considering starting off here at the Gaia Center at 10:30 and then just marching down to their brunch. So that was
The brunch is gonna be,
at 11 o'clock
Where
at Boobies.
okay.
So, and then, but they haven't put out any kind of paperwork or anything on, or flyers yet on their exact times. We just went to a meeting so we could work with them and let them know what we were planning and coordinate with them a little bit. We didn't want to step on their toes or anything like that, so,
Oh, and they were they were very happy.
they were
because-
thrilled that actually this was gonna happen at the same
Exactly.
time, so.
So that's one reason why we're glad it's at the Civic Center. But, that's kind of what I just want to say about that. The other thing, if you don't have any more questions about that, but you'll be getting updates if anything changes, is our national wants us to think of other things to do that can be attention-getting, that are not just rallies and protests. And
I've been working with a group of other people that have some street theater stuff planned for that day. We're already working on building a mock funeral casket for Donald Trump, getting the processional stuff ready.
Here,
So
would you
that's
want
what-
to speak on the microphone about that?
Sure.
Are you with the Pride?
No, I'm with a number of different groups, but
Yeah.
this is planned from Carbondale, Assembly for Radical Equity.
So the people out online can hear what you're saying.
Sure. So the general plan that Kara's come up, if you want to participate as well with the June 14th events, is to do a mock funeral procession for Donald Trump. The general plan is to start somewhere, probably, if there's the Pride March, I need to get more information to where you can march it at that same time, or alternatively march up 51 on the sides to wherever the rally is being held at the Civic Center to meet there. We're still flexible in figuring that out and trying to figure out what time is the departure time and the method of getting that whole thing up here. We've already started construction. There's opportunities to help with that if anyone's interested. We're going to be printing up some literature as well to hand out ahead of it in the form of obits. So, so yeah, we'll be doing that as well. So that'll be a little bit of something different to hopefully get people interested.
Nice. And what's your name?
My name is Victor.
Thank you.
I wanted to give Victor a question or share an idea with him.
Okay.
I really appreciated the music that we had at the last event. I really saw people responding to the music, so I think that great
That was
idea
Mary
to
that
have
did
music.
that.
A couple of other rallies ago, there were some dancers that were really good. I wish they would come again. But thirdly, no more kings. I started thinking about it, and I think of, who is a king that really attracts the American public, and it's Elvis Presley. And so some brainstorming off that in terms of guerrilla theater, what would Elvis do, or, that kind of thing. And I figured there's probably some Elvis impersonators around here.
Yep, there you go.
That could be, or whatever. But in terms of trying to grab attention,
Is this something you would like to look into?
well, I don't know what you mean by look into. I thought of it. I am more of an idea person than a doer at this point in my life.
Yeah, one thing I'll add is
I
that
would pay for an Elvis impersonator.
we're trying to get some kind of music situation figured out, whether it's getting a couple people with brass instruments to start practicing very quickly to get ready to do the funeral march, or alternatively just to bring a speaker as well to walk behind it into the casket. Oh, I have a megaphone too. That works fine. But yeah, we have some ideas to add some musical elements to it. We just we haven't decided how ambitious to be with it yet. We might even have a band. I don't know.
Yeah.
How large of a group are you?
We're trying to get 20 people in on it, and then to invite others to simply be part of a processional, or to, I don't know, throw flowers out on it or something, or tomatoes, whatever you want to do. You can wear ponchos and people want to throw tomatoes.
Well, if there's someone that's interested, how would they get a hold of you?
We'll have more of this ironed out come the next CARE meeting, which will be not next Wednesday, but the following. We don't have the exact date. Those are held at 6 p.m. at the Rainbow Cafe building. The exact date will be the 4th of June. So by then we should have the casket completed, and we'll be able to practice with it a bit. And we'll be able to figure out what we want to do.
How about Ellison or?
We could carry it.
Yes, the pallbearers.
We could do that. We'd have to get a lot
That would
of
get it.
costumes on short notice. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Of course.
Thank you, Victor. So we need his information and we can relay his to our members.
One more, well, yeah, a whole bunch, but a major problem we have right now, right here, there's no young kids.
Oh, we got Charlie now, don't say that, look at her right there. And we got Kurt over here, he's younger than you.
Victor's young?
Victor's young.
I'm not that old.
And that's why Charlie was getting us involved with the Dirty the Dale group, because that's the young people that are trying to take care of the town. So we need to make friends with those young people and get out there with them and clean. I mean, I'll do it in my town, I don't live in Carbondale, guys, but come to Anna or Cobden.
All 25 people down there.
Yeah. Big dirty.
So Judy came,
Oh.
sorry.
I was, it's what he said about getting the young people. I've been to a lot of different kinds of men across the area, and usually the audience is the participant, not being nasty, is rather white. Could we perhaps invite, the African American and Latino community? All of America united.
Well, I like that idea. And actually, Mel and I first started this group, we tried to heavily get into Cobden, because that's my town, and it's heavily Hispanic because of the farms. And not all of them speak English, but the ones that did, they don't want to be out.
Well, I can see it in their case.
Yes, yeah, but they just don't want to be out there. And right now, I don't think I'd want to be associated with
I think it's
us.
pretty scary out there. They made sure that we're all just a little bit careful.
If it got to that point, Indivisible also, there's training on how to protect people like that if they were at our events. Go ahead and ask your question.
Oh, Judy's here, and so did you get the permit, Judy, for the 14th? Okay.
And what I wanted to mention is, Sarah reminded me, the university will be back on the 9th. So we should be able to tap into various student organizations.
On the
And try and
9th
get
of
some
June? Yeah, the 9th of June?
Yeah, June 9th.
Summer session, I guess.
Yeah, summer semester starts.
Yes, that would be good.
And as far as music, I can connect with a number of different bands.
I got music covered.
You got it covered.
Got that covered. And a sound system that doesn't require electricity.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, glad you got that covered, so. Does the permit from 1 to 3, is that?
I think that was it,
Okay.
whatever you
That was the
asked.
question
Yeah.
that was brought up, okay. So, Mary?
Are they live musicians?
Yes.
I think you've got lined up?
I have, yes, my husband is a live musician. Sadly, his whole band will be out of town, which is why Nell and Kurt, the drummer of the band, and the husband, the guitar player, will be in Kankakee.
We're gonna be in Kankakee.
So-
I have a retirement party to go to in
Oh,
Kankakee,
right.
so I'll be at their rally. They are also having a June 14th rally at the courthouse there, so I'll be going to that, but
But he's quite entertaining. He does Elvis Presley.
he does.
He actually does Elvis really good.
He does him really good. So I don't think I
You'll
can
like
get him
it.
to dress up.
You'll love every minute of it.
Actually, you know what? Kevin would dress
He would
up.
do it in a heartbeat.
Dress up. All right, I'll get him to dress up.
He would do it.
All right, I'll do it. Anyway, because we're not giving him the whole 2 hours. He just gets, and then we've got this that we're gonna have, we're gonna have a set list made up. I have somebody else that's gonna make us I don't know if it's a chip, what do you call something you put music on and stick it in there?
Like a thumb drive?
Yeah, something like that goes in my speaker over here.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'm gonna have Dale make like 2 hours long of music that we just turn down and turn up and turn down.
It's good idea, just let it roll.
And let it roll. So I think it'll be good because you said how they like the music, right?
Oh,
I couldn't believe that. I went through a tornado to get that, you guys. I was trapped at Home Depot over there in Marion through the tornado in the receiving. Just because I wanted and had to have this thing. So I just want people to think of ideas like that idea, his coffin thing. We need to do things like this that the press will want to go, oh my God, now look what they're doing.
Well, speaking of the memorial one, I know that there's a different tone that you would want to set for this. I've seen several posts which say Memorial Day is a protest day, it's for something else, but I would say people brought pictures of their loved ones that were veterans, and you wear your shirt or that, I think that would be nice.
I like that idea too.
We are in support of veterans, that's gonna be the theme of it. And it's a little bit different tenure
Yeah.
in Marion than it is in Carbondale. So even, I didn't make the calls, but the story that I got was, they were a little bit surprised that we were going to attempt to do something like this over there. But we're doing it, but we're going to have a little bit of a different.
Well, it is a permit for the clock tower.
Yeah, that's what I meant, yeah.
And that's about the only, they told us that's where we had to do it.
You have to stay there, no sidewalks.
We'll be building pyramid people.
Is this going to be a gathering at the clock
That's
tower, or are
how-
you going to be marching, or what?
No,
No.
no marching. They said, they said you can go to the clock tower, can't march on the sidewalks.
No music.
Which is wrong. That's not wrong, that's not right. We have every right to do that. But we're not gonna defy them on the first try here.
They're scared of us.
They probably are. So we're just gonna show them that we can be peaceful. We've got a righteous reason to be there, and we're gonna be there for 1 hour, and we're out, so.
I think the pictures are good versus a sign. I mean,
Yeah, we had, like at the last one, there were people with old lost signs with the big no. I don't think those would be appropriate to bring into that one for the veterans, for Memorial Day.
well, I would prefer it to be uplifting, but on the other hand, if people feel compelled to speak their piece.
Right, but
Yeah, we've never really censored signs that people
No.
brought, so, you know.
My pride flag wouldn't be inappropriate, would it? Since those guys died, see, I could fly it.
You can bring your pride flag to every event.
Good show.
Every event. We're gonna start having a flag at every event also because, like I talked about on the call today, they're trying to make us look unpatriotic, like, you know, we don't love our democracy, but we do, and we're gonna start showing it. It's gonna be the first thing they see.
One sign of the whole is we're taking our flag back.
Our flag back.
Yes, that's a good one.
We had plenty of flags at the last weekend, didn't
There
we?
were a lot of flags, which is nice, I appreciate that, so.
Well, I like your ideas too, but we're thinking of in the future. So let's think even further on if anybody, like Charlie over here.
Allison suggested events at SIU.
What is it?
Events at SIU.
Do we have events at this time? Is that what?
Yeah, can we do events at SIU?
Yeah.
Oh, do events at
Use the
SIU?
university for
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can do events anywhere.
They do have a lot of events there. I mean, maybe we would be better off like supporting someone who's already
coordinating
having
with the
events there.
RSO or some other group.
But if there's something that comes up.
I think there's coming up with something.
Yeah, when it comes to campus, I've done a lot of work on campus. There are 3 designated locations where you can be that you do not have to request a permit for. And as a result of that, they do not put limitations other than no amplified sound. And whenever class is not in session and it's before 8 p.m., you're allowed to have amplified sound. So there's not going to be a lot of people on campus in person. Almost all summer courses are online. Only about 10% of them are in person. So I would say that during the summer, it's not practical. But during the fall, it's certainly doable, especially if you're to get in early. One could just roll up to one of the spots on campus. And those are near Famer Hall, by Morris Library, and by Anthony Hall. So those are the 3 spots that
Will you remember that?
Yes.
Good, I was saying it's being recorded.
Yeah, there are a couple RSOs that are natural allies to reach out to. There is the Saluki Rainbow Network, which in the past has taken the position of not being the group to sponsor an event, but to mobilize people to an event. If you need contacts with them, I'm glad to provide them. Then there's also the DSA chapter on campus as well that'd be more than happy to work on issue-specific things. They want to do issue-specific.
Are you part of our group now?
I suppose.
Because you got a lot of information.
Yes. We want you to be a part of our group.
You really, I appreciate you coming. Well, these things we think about, we got a lot of time in the future because until we know who's running, we got to fill the gap. Once we know who's running, then we're going to be supporting them hopefully, and there will be something to do until that election rolls around, right?
Yeah.
Pop-ups.
Yeah, a couple things. Speaking of that. Yeah.
So we get a lot of questions from people recently about the campaign and who's running, and do we know who's running, and whatnot. So no, we don't. Which one? I haven't heard anybody's name brought up really as a serious contender yet. So I looked into it. I think the petitions start like 90 days before the election. So the primary will be in April, I think towards the middle.
March.
It'll be in March next year.
Yeah.
So then,
September, October, the petitions go out.
okay, well then
They
that's
they
good.
haven't, I called the election and they haven't finalized how many signatures you need and so forth. But
All of that.
September, early October.
Well, I'm just trying to give people a timeline so
Yeah.
that they're not like overly anxious, because the petitions don't even come out till September or October. So people have a lot of time, I'm talking to online people here too, to decide now. So we're in the recruitment stage, and I know I talked to Vivian Robinson recently, and she's our central committee woman, and she and Glenn Pichard are actively recruiting and pursuing and trying to find just the right candidate. They're actually really looking for someone fairly specific, I think, that who can actually be a contender against our current my boss. So I just wanted to bring that up because it's still a little bit early for there to be any declared candidate right now. So another thing, the reason why we're doing this Marion rally is because someone came to us and asked us, please do one in my town. And so we, Allison lives over there. So, okay, we said we'd go ahead and plan that, and we're doing it. And it's quick. We turned it around in like a week. So, I guess like a week. So, I guess that I wanted to express to people, if we can't do every town, can't do every courthouse. There's like 8 counties. This district is spread out all the way from Charleston to Metro East and now it's south at Cairo, so it's huge. There are 3 or 4 other indivisible chapters within our district, so they kind of take care of their areas. But if somebody wants something in their town and they have a desire to, if they can organize, we're willing to help. We can provide training, we can give pointers, and if we can, we'll come to it. But so we're open to that. If somebody wants to try to do that in their own town, in their area. So just wanted to throw that out there. We talked about it, Mary and I, and we're like, yeah, we could do that. We'll help you.
I really encourage that idea of encouraging people to take the initiative and set up their own rallies and to take ownership of that they are actually doing something in their own town, in their own space, instead of always
And the
relying
local
on
people are gonna know where's the best place and who to call, who to contact, all of that, where we may not have all that information, so.
But they can give you that information once they get set up, and you can spread it through your channel.
Right, and yes, and we'll share it. You can use Indivisible Shawnee's name, all of this, so, you don't have to feel alone. So I just wanted to put that out there. Don't know if anybody's sitting, wishing they could do this, but we'd be willing to help, if something like that were to come up, so. And also back on the campaign stuff. I'm gonna be, keeping a list of volunteers when the campaign does come around. You know, we're rallying and doing lots of stuff now, trying to get this information out and stop these votes from happening, that kind of thing. But there's gonna be work that needs to be done when the campaign does come up. And we're gonna have to hit the streets, hit the phones. We cannot be idle at this election. So I'm hoping I can accumulate a list of people that are gonna be willing to get together and do like door knocking maybe for a day or something like that. So those are the kind of things I'm looking forward to organizing in the future. So, yes, Victor?
Is the volunteer list specifically focused on electoral work?
The one that I'm developing, well, we've got several volunteer lists, you know, for different activities and whatnot, but one of these days we'll put it all together and hopefully create a master list of people that we can really count on to show up and turn out, so.
It went from us two to everybody.
Right. We used to, Mary and I did this for years just ourselves, we could barely get anybody to come out, so this has been nice for us to have the support and people show up. Yeah, it's very heartwarming, right?
Well, our social media presence is there now.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that the national pushes is you need to get it out there. We fumble through Facebook.
Neither one of us are that tech savvy, so.
Let's get those pictures on there, Nell, come on, and we feel like that, but now we got.
How to get our pictures on.
Yeah.
Okay, so
We got-
now we have people that could do videos for us and put music to it and all of that. So it's
TikTok, we are on TikTok.
That last set of pictures that came up were primo.
so nice, yes, everything, it's great, yeah. So it's a big uplift
We're
for us.
leaving a good footprint there and with the press because they've been kind of, we gotta keep them on their toes though. We don't wanna make it stale. That's why we need to do other things that make them want to come out and see us again, so.
And then there was one other thing I wanted to mention. I had read, it was being passed around Facebook, I guess a procedure or whatever that people were thinking of using at the rallies. Like if there's trouble, somebody comes in, some vandalism starting, this and that the protesters kneel or sit or
Sit down and turn their
their signs over.
so that it's clear.
I hadn't had a chance to talk to Mary about this, but is that something that you think we should think about talking, promoting with our group? Like, we have never had any trouble, thankfully, but you never know when that
Well,
can happen.
being in Marion, we don't know. I mean, for the veterans, I'm hoping nobody would come counter us rallying for veterans.
Right.
But there's, they did that one, when Black Lives Matters and they were over in Anna, which is my area, and that was a scary event.
Very
Police were
scary.
everywhere. You were there. It was a little scary over there.
Marion's gonna be just as bad.
And so,
When we stick together on the circle or whatever, but when you leave, you best leave in pairs or fours.
Yes.
Marion is red. The whole damn county's red.
that's why I want this
Oh,
to
you
be
haven't been to
rally for
Selena,
veterans.
have you?
It's Memorial Day, we're honoring the dead.
Yeah.
You can't counter protest honoring the dead. You cannot counter protest that.
Make sure everything's.
But I guess, one thing, if you don't feel safe wherever you are, you should
Oh, yeah.
leave and go home. I'm not asking people to stick around in dangerous situations, but if we're all there and all of a sudden there's vandalism, or fire starts or something like that, then we sit. That exposes supposedly the people that are actually responsible for doing that kind of stuff. It's just something that I thought might be something for us to keep in mind.
Now, that's what I yelled on the bullhorn there at that first rally at the pavilion. If somebody cusses at you or yells at you, ignore it. Now, if it's physical,
Yes.
you're not gonna let that hurt
If it's
yourself.
physical.
We always want to
But
de-escalate any situation.
Judy, if there's gonna be like trouble instigators, provocateurs come in, like she said, put your signs down, ignore them, and maybe yell, no violence or something.
Well, and I would actually like for the June 14th thing being as big as it is, I'm going to, probably, we're gonna have to get some kind of people that will be security, just to keep,
Yes.
it's hopefully gonna be very large, and hopefully we can get, you got the volunteer list, if there's somebody that would like to say they would like to do security, which is just, you know, keeping the peace. Or
Well,
you
no,
calling
no,
911.
basically, we de-escalate, and we don't even engage people. We've had counter protests at our protests in the past that impeached Trump protests we did. There were about 15 counter protesters standing across the street from us. And people wanted to engage, and we're like, no, just forget it, you know, just do what we're doing. We're here for a reason, and keep that. All right.
Allison said Indivisible recommended chanting louder if being bothered.
Okay.
So there was Allison, I guess, is online and watching us, so she said Indivisible would recommend chanting louder if we're confronted. So we could do that. But I like the de-escalation
Yeah.
tactic myself. but-
Ignore them, turn your back on nothing else.
Yes. And the people that flip me the bird, I just laugh at them, so I think it's funny myself.
Does anybody here know a Tim Key? Well, they have, for a number of years, had what they call the county-to-county run on June 1st, the opening of Pride Month. And this year, they canceled that out of fear of violence against the runners. That ran from Marion to the old Bradley Bed King Furniture Store in Carbondale. And they had to cancel, that was so sad.
That's on 13, just a run?
Yeah, just run down the sidewalk on 13 or walk.
It's a brand new sidewalk over there.
Yeah, but they had to cancel that on account of the political climate, the threat of violence.
That's it.
All right, that's all I had. Any other questions, Richard?
Can you, or you, draw us up a form letter so that all we have to do is sign it and send it to boss, our senators, some of us are not very creative and really, and I'm not gonna write it, so
Could write up
I'll sure sign it and send it.
How about I write up maybe a selection of a few different kinds, you'd have one a week or something, you could send out.
Absolutely.
Something like that.
Mary's a really good letter writer. She's had a bunch of letters to the editor in the paper, so she's a good letter writer.
Yeah.
That way, boss gets something every week.
Yes.
If he gets 50 letters
Every day.
every day or whatever.
Yes,
You
and
know.
that reminds me, because Allison mentioned that's okay. Allison mentioned that she'd gotten a reply from boss. If any of you have sent letters and you get your reply,
Yeah.
hold on to them. Just keep them. I would love to collect all these collection form replies to everybody and then go to his office with them. Or display them at a future event. How he just sends a standard reply to everybody based on what your letter is. So that really bothers me. I don't do it because it really is.
We need to send to the senators this week.
Oh, yeah.
That's all we got that's gonna hold up.
So they want you to do it this week.
Pardon me.
Do you have time to write the letters this week?
Oh, you mean letters to senators?
Yes, the senators are the only ones that can hold up this massacre.
Well, who in particular? Because are you just talking about our senators,
Our
Duckworth and Durbin? Because you know they already support us, so I don't know if you.
Now, Durbin and Duckworth oppose it.
Yeah, exactly. So
Then they're gonna vote
Yeah.
against it. Hold on.
They would love to get something that says, yeah, okay, maybe I'm on the right side here.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, of course, they would love that. Yes, we need to support them when they're doing the right thing. And if you would like some kind of letter like that, then yes, I can do that too.
Okay.
I'll just do an assortment.
And I don't think that we need to worry strictly for Illinois. I'm sure we could send to other Democrats in the region
Sure.
because, you know, they may be not getting a letter. I don't know, maybe they are. Maybe there's a ton of them.
Well, you and I, how about we talk on the phone and we go over maybe a few different letters that you would like.
And that's another thing, maybe it's something on paper that, so that we can call our senator and look down and say, well, but, these are, you know.
Script.
We have those, don't we now?
Okay, we would probably need a group of people to keep up with the political action that's taking place at a given time in order, so we could be on top of what needs to be said in these things. It's kind of a lot to ask of just the two of us to do that, so
But the phone calls app.
That's what I wanted to
that's
say.
it, the 5 calls app.
I use it every day.
He wants the phone numbers of the numbers he
Well, they're on, we have,
Well, we can,
We
yeah,
have a
the-
list of that, there's a list of
well, yeah, we can give you the, you just want the phone numbers?
Yeah.
AARP sends me a thing and you pull it out and you just sign it for
Yeah.
everybody and then you mail it in.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
got a
you
little-
should,
Yeah.
We can't do that, but you could put yours on Facebook and we can copy it,
yes, or send it out in an
and
email. You can print-
customize it, you know?
Can you print out can you do a printout?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Hey, Charlie, if Mary does a letter, could you,
If you, sir, if you can access through your phone the 5 calls app, that will do for you exactly what you want. Because it takes you to your legislators and it shows you the issues that are most prominent right now. And all you do is you tap here and it takes you to that. You can add your own words or send it on. It's 5 calls. And you can handle the app on your
you
phone.
know how to do that with your phone.
Very efficient.
I will wear those.
It works very well.
It's called 5 calls. You just go to your app store and then you put in your zip code.
for those of you online, this is called 5 Call. It's an app, and if you put in your zip code, I think, right?
It's very clear, it'll tell you what to do.
Just follow the instructions on it, and it will give you ideas to speak about when you call, and maybe letter writing ideas, so.
Connect you directly.
Good.
They make a phone call, correct you directly. to
So you
the
can make the phone call directly to the office of the representative, so it's good. I've used it also, I've heard of it, but you guys are explaining it better than I. It's called 5 Apps, so,
5 calls.
or 5 Calls.
It is an app.
But it's an app.
Sorry, it's an app that's called 5 Calls, so there we go. That's good information, yes, because that would be a little bit much for us to try to keep ahead of, on top of all the time, so that's good, that works out good. So that's another thing, I just, and this is for people online too, and most of the people here in this room, I recognize your faces, you come to a lot of our rallies and whatnot, but just realize that this is a group of volunteers, and we do the best that we can. When we get suggestions, we try really hard to incorporate, we try to really hard to be inclusive and meet as many needs as we can. I'm sure we don't get them all, but let's just try to practice trying, if you don't have something good to say, please, let's not say it if we can. And I just have run into a streak of, I would say, criticisms in this world. We have to be thick-skinned and we have to take criticism. It happens a lot, but it's still, we're all in this together. And, I would really appreciate, and for the people, the new people, Charlie and Allison, they're doing a great job. We brought them on and we're happy that they're with us and they're doing a great job. And so, I just wanted to reiterate that once again, we're volunteers and we put a lot of time and effort into some of these things, and sometimes we miss the mark, and apologize for that, but we'll try again to do better next time. So anyway, I just wanted to bring that up, so.
Yes.
I'd like to say, talking about the letters, are you talking about when you get online and you go to their site and you can email them? I've done a lot of that.
Yes, the emailing works too, so however you contact them, and you can get them through their websites, and get their email addresses,
I
yes.
know like Tammy Duckworth, I had sent her stuff, and she gives me a really nice look at that. So-
But you're,
Yes.
you're writing it yourself, correct? You're sending an email from your,
Right.
Richard's asking for more, something that's already written for him that he would be able to send out, so.
Yeah,
A lot of them, like, when I send to the Republicans, I would just copy and paste the same thing.
Yeah, that's.
yeah, and, yeah, that's a good idea too, copy and pasting into emails and so. I've gotten the letters from Tammy Duckworth too, she writes a really nice letter, and for her, at one time, the phones were so jammed, you couldn't make a phone call, so she was taking emails at that time. Did you have a question?
Well, I just want to say on the 5 Calls app, just whatever issue you're concerned about, they give you a script, a talking script, but you could actually use that for writing too. You know, this is my concern, and you can just like copy it
Yes.
straight from, because they give you a script for talking, you can also use that for writing a letter. So it's really.
Yeah, that's really useful.
Yeah, it's very useful.
Yes,
I got one more question.
sure,
Did I understand that Dick Durbin is resigning?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
yes, he's
He's not
retired.
running again.
So we need to be filling that too.
We've got,
Already,
Juliana Stratton, the,
yeah.
Lieutenant
Governor.
Governor, I always get that mixed up, has put her name in the hat. Also, Robin Kelly from District 2, she's a representative from District 2. Kankakee, which I know Robin from when I used to live in Kankakee, she's great also. So we have 2, and I think there was another,
Roger Moore from Chicago, a long Indian name, he's from the country.
Oh, yeah.
Indian
Yes.
area.
Mhm.
They call him Raj, R-A-J.
yes, he's a really smart guy too. So
Yeah, he's a-
I think we're gonna have a lot of great choices.
What's his last name?
It's a big long name.
Roger.
Roger Moore.
Rasha
I think I
Mora,
heard him speak at a function.
he's a really
He's
smart
currently in the
guy.
House of Representatives, and he is a very brilliant man.
Very
Yes,
smart, very nice.
they all are.
They all are.
Juliana's been down here, we met her, she's wonderful. Mhm.
Robin Kelly, we've met.
Robin we've met,
Yeah.
she's really smart, so lots of experience. So I'm hoping, I think we've got some great candidates.
I think that's what's good, is if we get good candidates like that, where the people can have a choice.
Yes.
Instead of, somebody like a
And you
coronation.
have to settle for somebody, and
Yeah.
that's it, yes, I like having.
Right. So that is one area, those people have already put their hats in, so.
As long as there's not too many choices.
Yeah.
Well, that's the problem too, and it's hard
We'll
to
see
see
if they
from.
stay, we'll see if they, once they see who all is gonna be in the race, what it pans out to be on the ballot, but
MAGA is gonna have somebody, and they're gonna pay a lot of money.
they are.
One guy jumped up, oh dear, John Good, I can, John kind of Roseanne, I can remember his name, John Goodman. It ain't the actor they got. He's from over the Metro East. And he was, I know, because I read the article about him at a meeting in northern Illinois, where they want everything outside of Cook County to succeed and become its own state or merge with.
Oh, are you talking about a Republican candidate?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Absolutely,
I
Republican.
just,
A Republican nut job. They said this huge rally, and then they finally admitted there were 60 people that showed up.
Well, that's how they are.
well, that'll be another campaign that we'll wanna work on, I would think, I'll be wanting to work on that, that's what I like to work on the campaigns, I don't mind going to the rallies, I go to them, I work on them, but I like working on the campaigns, and trying to get somebody elected, so.
Which we've been doing
We're going to be working on the campaign for our state rep, because I.
Chip? You're talking about Chip?
Yes, and then Jacobs, is it Jacobs or Jacobs?
He's running against Paul Jacobs.
Paul Jacobs, yeah.
Yeah, Chip Merkel, yeah, of course, we'll probably work for him. Yeah, the thing with Indivisible National, we can't get any money for a state, candidate. They only deal with national candidates. But as a local chapter, we can support whomever we decide to support, so. And what we would do, what we've done in the past, specifically, we supported Ray Lindsay when he ran years ago. Some of you remember Ray. We love Ray. So, anyway, I'm going to tear up even thinking about it. But we were able to get funds for him. We took a poll of the group and we voted to support him and did all this and sent it into the national organization. And so we were able to get support for him and national news and that type of thing. So we could do that for our national candidates, but not the state.
And honestly, I mean, we'll work really hard for the right person. If it's just a candidate that they want to fill the slot, then I would prefer to put my energy maybe somewhere else, but we'll see. Time will tell.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get a great candidate. So.
Do you know, had Chip announced that he's running against Jacobs?
He is. Yeah, he pretty much, he was at
Several rallies.
one of the meetings that we were at, and he spoke, and yeah, he's gonna run against him.
Okay, I worked very heavily for his campaign, as a volunteer, when he ran for Congress.
Yes.
And I can tell you.
We did too.
Huh?
We worked for him too, yeah.
Yeah, what he says in private, he says the same thing to strangers on the street in public. He's not one of these guys to whisper in your ear one thing and go say something else.
Oh, no,
And what he says in Jackson County, when he ran then, he said the same thing over in White County or wherever else. He's not one of these.
He's a great guy. We've gotten to know him now over the years.
Yeah, he's a very, very good man. He just couldn't get, party support and so forth, so.
Well, hopefully this time it'll be different, which is why they talked to him about running for a more local, state office versus the federal, so.
Paul Jacobs, I had a Harris for President sign, and he had me kicked out of the Williamson County Fair. But I had her sign. Nobody paid any attention to me until people coming into the fair started yelling, go Kamala and go Timmy, Governor Walz. And then they kept looking at me down there, and I knew it was him. And the guy came over and told me, he said, you have to leave now.
Oh, he's such a nice guy.
We do work the Democratic tent at the Des Moines Fair. Mary and I always work a couple days for the Southern Illinois Democratic Women. They always have a tent there. So if you want to have some fun sometime and volunteer at that tent, that's always fun.
Yeah. If you collect money to make political donations, give it to the candidate directly.
Oh, yeah.
Do not give it to the county party. I don't care what county it is. Don't give it to the county party. Give it to the candidate directly.
Good advice. All right, any other questions? We're going to wrap up here. What you got, Richard?
I had a thing come on Facebook from supposedly our international or national or whatever wanting money.
Is there like a little
Is that
right there?
Indivisible National?
It might have been was it an email?
Yeah, no, it was on Facebook and it was wanting money because they're gonna have such an expense coming up.
Oh, they're talking
for-
about the billboards.
Yes.
They're raising money for the billboards.
They are raising money.
Well, I have to admit, I donate, I know it's only $3, but I have a monthly $3 donation going to our national group because they do fund us in some little ways. They provide little bits of money and they send us things that are useful, signs, and so I think my $3 is only $3, but I'm happy to
Sometimes they have
donate.
matching programs. I think they've got one coming up there. Whatever you donate, they match it to the local chapters and things like that.
But they actually have paid representatives that help us. We've got a paid rep that does Wisconsin, right, and Illinois.
Just have a brand new one.
When we're stumped, we've got somebody to go to, and that helps.
Can you put that out on your Facebook page? I mean, I don't think $3 is much to donate. I'd be willing to do that. $5, whatever.
Did you hear that?
But I do stress, if you donate money, give it to the candidate, not the county party.
This goes.
But this would
Well, this is for the group. This is for Indivisible that he's talking about.
Yeah, I know that.
Charlie,
Yeah,
tell Allison to find the link for that for.
yeah.
Allison, if you're listening, find us the link.
All right, that's a great idea.
Yeah, and they are gonna have, I talked to them recently, because I wanna donate, but I wanna donate when they match. So asking them when they're gonna start the mention program.
But that's donating to our group, like our group, and they'll match what our group would raise.
Yes,
Which,
to our groups,
that way we have that for supplies and stuff.
yeah, so. Yes,
I'd like to mention that I'm going to Washington DC on the 5th, well, I'll be there for the 6th for the veterans.
Oh, wonderful.
oh, that's wonderful,
Yes.
yeah.
It should be fun.
You going by yourself, or? Oh, good.
I know somebody else is gonna go. I'd love to have company.
That's related to the veterans movement that day, right? They're supposed to have a big protest. Good, thank you for doing that. Send us some pictures.
Yeah.
Send us some pictures and make sure, so we can post them. Yeah.
And get them to us right away, we'll get them on our page.
But you know, I've never gone live, I don't know, but I thought maybe I would try to go live.
Yeah, you should do that. Just a button. Just a button.
Well, good, thank you for doing that. What's your name, David, right? Yes.
Oh, he's David. Hi, David. I saw your name on there.
That's great. Well, Judy went to DC
We did.
a month ago.
Yeah, at Illinois Connected. Is that-
The Citizens Action, the Citizens Action group.
Yeah,
They came through us and
Yeah.
we said, but
and that was worth it. And one of the things we heard most from the legislators we did get to talk to is, yes, send messages, emails and phone calls over and over again because they tabulate the incoming information. So, and that's what the legislators respond to.
Yes.
Is the communications, the nagging from all of us.
yeah.
We gotta keep.
And that is something, if you know, if you ever feel discouraged, I mean, the senators, now the ball's in their court to vote against this budget bill, but I was thinking about this and it's like, because of what we're doing here, they have more courage than to stand up and do those kind of things, so we do need to call and write and attend the rallies, and it's important what we're doing, so don't ever get discouraged, don't ever think, is this gonna work out? We just keep doing it.
We saw the governor the other day and he knows who we are and he appreciates what we do. So, yeah.
He wanted a t-shirt.
And he wants to wear it.
We had our t-shirts on, so we gotta make sure and get him a t-shirt.
Yes, and triple X, he said.
I also went to Springfield, with the, Christy Nolan being there.
Oh, good.
And that was
Oh, my
really
gosh.
an experience too, you know.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, that's good that you did that.
She hid out too, didn't she?
Yeah, she did, she did not come out.
That was a rapid action. If there ever was one, that was a rapid action.
That was a good turnout, I hear.
It was.
Yes.
They fear the people, they fear
They
the
do.
people. They fear us
They
at
fear
the
the
bottom,
Amen.
and what they fear about us is our vote.
Okay, we made it through 1 hour.
I think we don't have a candidate yet to run against Boss, but that shouldn't stop us from making him look bad.
Well, that's our job.
Absolutely.
That's what Invisible Shawnee started.
We
We
keep
need to keep him,
something going all the
All the
time,
time.
yeah.
especially if we can get those veterans behind us.
Yep.
Yes, Mary?
Well, I think it's even though I may sound like a broken record on this, but there's two issues that I think are things we could keep hitting on him and thinking of ways of doing this that could be public, whether it means a petition drive or what, that we are capable of doing. It's on two issues. One is the fact that he's not going to do the town halls ever, I think. But there, he could put the taped versions of the town halls on his webpage. It is done, the Veterans Administration does that when they have their town halls. And that is, I have been asking him to do that. Because his town halls on the phone get accessibility issues.
Yes.
They really do. If you've tried to get through with a specific question, what you're bombarded with at first is a list of, if you want this, who writes fast enough to to be able, like, you're nervous about asking a question. Which of these phone numbers am I supposed to call for that? So it's not user-friendly, and then he could easily put this on his website. I think they're recorded anyway. Maybe they're public, it's required, public, I don't know, I didn't ask the lawyer to. The second one is, he keeps filing, Illinois Supreme Court. I think he's lost on one. I think he was thinking about doing another on limiting counting mail-in ballots only till on or till the day of election. Anything that comes in after that. Have to sign a pledge, have them sign a pledge, put something in the paper, we could raise money for her, I would to do something like that, that says that you will not spend your time, our time as a representative with these cases, because it denies climate change. I've written him extensively on what's happening with the post office in terms of delivery closing because of climate change. So it's not only voter suppression, it's climate change denial. And now what they're doing with the weather, NOAA and all these things. So.
Boss has a one-track mind. All he cares about is Trump right now. You can tell him anything you want.
Yeah.
Nothing's gonna change him.
But those are ways that people could be involved locally in things that aren't a piece of legislation. There are things he can choose to do or not.
Right. Well, you know Allison pretty well. I know you do. And really, the Bother Boss thing is her project. And so if anybody ever has any suggestions on ways to approach him, I'd go with that. Go to Allison. Send her an email, or you can send it individual Shawnee and she'll get it. So. Yes, Judy.
There's another regards, Boss so-called town halls. There's another idea floating around that we might push more for, that he does have town halls to which he does not appear, but he has some of these aides there ostensibly to answer questions. Our thought is to gather the information about how his voting record, and we make a list of his voting records in language that anybody can understand. So it's just concrete information, and then go to those town halls and not argue, not have signs, but simply to hand out copies of his voting records to everybody who shows up, so that they know exactly
Do you
what
know
he's
where
doing.
has he ever advertised any of
Oh,
these?
yeah, they're posted on his website.
Are you talking about the office hour thing?
No, where he's gathered his meetings when he's in town, when he's, yeah. And if you just go to his website, and I get his newsletter, and they're in the newsletter, I would sign up, all of you, I think, should sign up.
You mean the Boss Bulletin?
Yes, the Boss Bulletin, and then they're also published on his webpage.
And on the Boss Bulletin, I only ever see what he did do.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he sometimes posts a little box and it says, I'm gonna be in this place, or my staff is gonna be in this place.
So you're talking about showing up at his various meetings that
Yeah,
he's
and
going
handing
to.
the information, just not make an issue or anything, but just giving them the concrete information, so they can know the real story.
That would fall under the Father Boss campaign.
Yeah, that's another thing for, yeah.
Yes.
Allison, are you listening?
Oh, yeah, she's loving it.
She's noting it, okay.
One more.
You're good.
That's enough, Ed. We've had tornadoes in the area, in Missouri and Kentucky, and from what I understand, no FEMA response.
No.
And of course, Trump wants to do away with FEMA.
I think
There was, of course, Boss supports.
anything.
Yeah, that would be another issue in my mind also to bring up. That's a dangerous thing. And the NOAA or the weather, that they cut funds for that, where they can't even give us warning signals anymore in certain places, so
Well, I
it's
think
dangerous.
we can do, like after the Snow Kings Day is over and we've got through the summer, I think we can do little protests here and there for specific things, like,
save our weather, save our,
Right, the big national ones, like the 14, we get those down through Indivisible National, and we try to do all of those. I mean, we get a lot of questions about that, but I think if we ever decided that we couldn't do one, we'd probably let people know, no, we're not doing this one, but we really do try to do all of those. And then the ones in between, like this one on Memorial Day, that's just a local, that's just us doing that, that's not coming down. So you're gonna see those may not be as well attended, not coming down. So you're gonna see those may not be as well attended as some of the big national events, but we feel they're still important.
yeah.
And if we can, we'll be doing more of those. But we're gonna be concentrating on the boss stuff and the the big national events probably. But if there's a lot of time in between, we'll probably throw one in there, but I don't know how many.
Well, I don't hope they aren't doing a big nationwide every month, because that would get a little hard.
Well, they did the first term. Remember, we were doing them once a month. Yes.
I was younger then.
Yes, Mary.
I wanted to ask, like, FEMA not showing up in Marion, because Marion had a tornado that was reported regularly. I did not know FEMA did not show up. But how would you document this? Say, for example, using Judy's model, just to complain about these, but to have documentation that FEMA was not part of the helping system in this tornado. That is big to make an issue about in front of his office. But I would want to have that documented first, because I noticed that there are some groups, Occupy Democrats sometimes takes things way out of context.
Yes.
There's something there, but you really got to double check out.
We try not to
We
do that. no.
research, I'll research until I can't research
So I would
anymore.
want to know how you knew that FEMA wasn't there, for sure.
What I heard was, they asked, that's to be a disaster area,
Uh-huh.
and then Trump or well, whoever's the head of FEMA has to say, okay, we're gonna go in and help.
Well, what is the role of Mike Bost in that?
He's just
He'll
our
take-
representative.
usually
just
take the
elected.
role?
Well, he would be,
Call and say, I support you or I oppose you. That's
yeah,
all.
he would be instrumental in like passing the information on, I would think, as a congressman for the area, and
And I'd like to know what role he played if it didn't occur.
FEMA didn't show up for St. Louis or Kentucky either. So it wasn't like just a little Illinois. They didn't show up for the red states
But
either.
how did you find that out?
I read it. I read the paper.
Yeah, I do too.
St.
there has been some
The
news
St.
coverage.
Louis Dispatch, I read.
When was that? When was that for Kentucky? Because Bashir, the big floods and everything, Bashir was on the TV complimenting Trump for the help for that. But
Maybe ask the governor's office, because they would be ones to be requesting the help.
I'm gonna go to the FEMA website and.
Go to the FEMA website, yeah. Or ask the governor's office, did you guys get any FEMA help? Because they would have to request it too, and declare it some kind of emergency, so. Yeah. Okay, we gotta go. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Anyway, be careful on Facebook, or you're going to jail.
All right, you got all that? Great meeting, yeah. All right.
Because you said you were going to
All righty, I will see you on Monday.
And then you get it right, and it's